We're ignorant. And the Gnostics say exactly the same thing. We don't know what the score is. We have no idea. In this respect, we're like psychotics, you know. Like we think about psychotics. Joan thinks better of psychotic, and that's good. That's a wonderful emphasis. And, David driving me up from L.A. in the early hours of this morning was telling too, and that's good that we see the potential therein. But insofar as the standard view of delusion, and there's some in there, that element, we're all like that. We're all like that.
Ignorance of the three poisons in Buddhism, the root poison?
The ignorance of those three poisons, what about
the three
yeah.
poisons.
Ignorance,
greed, and hatred, and
right.
Aggression.
Right.
The worst of those three poisons, which keep us on the wheel of life and death, is that of ignorance.
That's right. That's right. And this is Gnostic, so that if we use a small letter G, why Buddhism is a Gnosticism for sure. And this is why it's such an exciting prospect of a possibility of convergence. Yes?
The Gnostics were in Greek country, and isn't this also from Plato's teacher? You know what?
Oh, yeah. Socrates.
Socrates had
sure.
this idea about ignorance.
Absolutely. Well, Socrates is a Gnostic. And Plato is a Gnostic. Sure. Because the emphasis there is exactly on this emphasis. Yeah. And see, the interesting thing is to find it in early Christianity where the emphasis was so much on the will rather than on the intellective faculty. If you say mind, that's too weak, probably. But you see, St. Paul, whereas Socrates said, to know the good is to do it, you know what St. Paul said, the good that I would, I do not. Now there you get the two sides. And the exciting thing is now that we don't have to see Christianity only in terms of the Pauline verdict, which has its own truth, as each of us, if we were honest, could attest. But Socrates was no fool either. And there has to be something right in Socrates' point. And to come back to this point of the why this is so exciting and promising is a kind of prospect of an enriched Christianity in which balancing truths can both be accommodated rather than one side being ruled out as heretical. All right. Now we have the anthropology, theology, cosmology, anthropology, and now we come to the soteriology, that's simply the technical word for theory of salvation. What is the way out of all that? And it will come as no surprise to say it's through knowledge. We've got to have an escape plan from this dungeon. We can say it abstractly. This pneuma, this spark of the divine that is within us, has to be released from the prison of not only body but of soul as well. It must return to the realm of blazing, undiluted, uninterrupted light. But that means it's got to work its way out, and now we're talking about the symbolism of these 7 spheres, and it's got to get by those 7 archons, the guardians of the gate, and that is no small trick. So, salvation consists in knowledge, and the first component of this is to know the lay of the land, know where we are, to see what the problem is. And that involves an understanding of life along the lines that we've been spelling out in theology, cosmology, and anthropology. So the condition of release is knowledge. Now let me just read a statement from the Gnostics on this, a short one. This is from one of their texts. What liberates is the knowledge of who we were. Originally we were that light. What we became, children of darkness, imprisoned in matter and psyche. Okay, who we were, what we became, where we were, in this realm of unbounded divine light, whereinto we have been thrown in this dungeon of confinement and bondage and darkness, whereto we speed, up and out of this prison, wherefrom we are redeemed, this prison, what birth is, namely falling into this state, and what rebirth is, extrication from it. Now, that's the soteriology. And note, what liberates is the knowledge of these things. Now, a great stress on revelation, because who could figure it all out, given the condition we're in? Just makes no sense. You can't add up the pieces. What somebody once said, proposed an educational toy, namely a jigsaw puzzle, no 2 pieces of which fit together. Right. So there's no way that we can figure it out ourselves. Revelation. And this revelation comes through a bearer of the revelation, or a messenger from the world of light. Now, of course, in Christian terms, this is going to be Christ. But whatever it was, there would be the messenger. Mani, we'll be talking about him soon, who established institutionally the most impressive manifestation of Gnosticism, was himself regarded himself as such a revealer. Now, equipped with this understanding of our condition, then at the moment of death, we will know how to maneuver. And again, they laid an enormous stress on death. The Plotinus, along the Platonic where the spheres are translucent, held out the possibility of doing a lot right here in this life. And indeed, I think in the end, certainly this is true in Asia, and I think the emphasis is right here too, that it does not wait for death at all. But that's the Gnosticism of the small g. With a big G, they didn't hold out much hope for this kind of ecstatic knowledge in this life. The moment of opportunity is the moment of death. But it's crucial to that moment that you have this understanding of what your problem is and what your opportunity is in that moment. And you must know how to get by these 7 archon.